Right back where we started with Mr. Paul Tosio, the founder of Easy Cheetah. He's an Oxford qualified psychologist, and Paul does some absolutely amazing work helping students increase their confidence, build their skill, and feel phenomenal in their academic journey. Hey, Paul, I don't know where to begin. We met way back when. It must have been 2018 when I first met you, if not
Something like that.
2017.
Yeah, it's between
Yeah.
2016 and 2018.
And tell me, Paul, in all this time that I've known you, are you still as entertaining as you were way back when on that stage?
I'm usually fairly entertaining, a little bit harder when there's all you got is a little camera to speak to. But I do tend to find that students need not only information, they also need a little bit of entertainment and personality. So I do my best.
I agree. I agree. Paul, I have so many questions, but before I begin and share all of the magic with our audience today, just take me through some of the things that you've been busy doing as a Oxford qualified psychologist helping students. Just kind of like give us the trailer version of what that means for any parent watching us right now, either on LinkedIn, on YouTube, or on Instagram.
Well, firstly, I'll give you my background in about 30 seconds, which is basically like I'm sure a lot of students out there who's watching. I never performed very well academically and was very frustrated because I'd read the books and read the books and read the books and nothing would stick in my mind. But at a point, I started to look into how the brain actually likes to learn. And I got this huge shock because the things which were taught at school often include rewriting and rereading and just listen harder to the teacher, which tends not to work. And I discovered a few basic fundamentals about how the brain works and developed a study system for myself. I had absolutely no idea I was ever going to teach anyone else. And immediately I jumped to straight distinctions and lots of scholarships and all sorts. And after I was then invited to go to Oxford, I qualified as a psychologist, and schools had then heard about me and said, please come and teach our kids the same things. So I've now done that for about 25 years. And to get into a more specific answer for your question, when I work with kids, 95% of the time, the thing is just to show them, but the human brain is built for learning. But very few people know how to apply that to the dusty old sort of textbooks that we're suddenly given when we've got to work, or including digital resources, when you're reading words and listening to a teacher mumble on. So what I do, generally speaking, is explain to people, and if we've got enough time today, I'll explain some here already, how it's possible to bridge the gap between the brain's ability to learn and the fact that schoolwork tends to be completely weird and not natural. So that gives
Okay.
you some indication.
I love that. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
The bad news.
It looks like it's not streaming on LinkedIn. We are streaming on YouTube. We are streaming on Instagram. So what we need to do is try to get on it. If you kind of like bear with me, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Instagram, bear with me. And I am going to try and rectify this. I apologize for any delay. This is where like all the adverts would come on. You know, it's what happens when you go live.
There you go.
But let's
Maria,
try.
I'll tell you
Let's try.
something odd. Maybe this would help. While you're doing that, you could almost ignore me and I could start giving a few basic pointers about when I say the human brain works in this way, but we're expected to study in that way. I can start explaining that. So if you suddenly connect to LinkedIn, that's cool. Then people will be able to hopefully follow midway. But for anyone who's watching, I can